And right now it's time for that time when we talk to our special guest. Tonight our special guest is Max Cryer, with the release of his brand new book, The Cat's Out of the Bag. How many baby boomers are long-time servants to their cats? We will never know that answer, but Max can help by presenting the truth and lies about cats. Be watching tonight to win a copy. Max Cryer, welcome to the first show for 2015. Did you ever think, Max, that we'd both be sitting here in 2015? It seemed a long time away when we were in our young days, wasn't it, Max?
What, when I had brown hair and you had hair?
I had hair. Gosh. Let me think back on those days. Wasn't it wonderful? I save a fortune now.
I think that's enough. Just think back and say it was wonderful.
I save a fortune in shampoo.
I'm glad to hear it.
Max, you are one of the most busiest writers and authors. Number 13 or number 14? We haven't been able to work it out.
I haven't really counted up. I think it may be 14.
Number 14. What a great idea. The cat's out of the bag. Truth and lies about cats.
Yes.
Wow.
That's the one.
And first question, have you got a cat of your own, Max?
No.
Oh, no.
That's everybody's first question. When you're in the sort of entertainment industry, which I was for years, it simply isn't fair to have a pet that you've got to leave alone or farm out somewhere when you're travelling all the time.
Yes, exactly.
So I never did. I don't have a cat, no. Or a dog, unfortunately.
Speaking of dogs, should we apologise to all our viewers that just love dogs and hate cats? Should we apologise to them about talking about cats?
No, because they'll still love dogs, whatever they hear us say.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, you've got a wonderful book on dogs called Every Dog Has Its Day, one of the 14 books that you've actually produced.
That's true. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the cat one as well, because there is so much about cats which is sort of mysterious, and when you start studying and find out the extraordinary difference between cats and everybody else, it was very engrossing.
I'm fascinated all the time. How do you come up with these ideas? Why cats? Why dogs?
It's just a matter of instinct and suddenly having an idea in the middle of the night.
Oh.
What actually happened, though, in this case, was that my dog book a couple of years ago was quite popular, and the publishers said, well, we did well with that. Maybe you should try something else, either, say, horses or cats. Yeah. And I thought, well, horses could be difficult. I think I'll do cats. So I did, and here we are.
Now you start your research. You're off to the library and you pore over volumes of books looking for all the information about cats.
Almost every day, yes.
So what's the most, of all the things you found out about a cat, what was the most surprising?
Well, the physicality is intriguing because cats have got 40 more bones than we have.
Really?
Yes, and they have no collarbone, so that's why they can hunch up. See, we are restricted in going through a gap with the width of our shoulders. A cat can sort of compress itself because it has no collarbone.
Oh, okay.
And it also has enormous hearing ability, said to be almost 1 million times better than ours. They can hear and identify mouse squeaks and where they're coming from and how far away they are. Gosh. And they're the only animal that can, well, they're not the only animal, but they're one of the very few animals that can lick their own back. which we can't do.
Say no more.
A cat can also, if it's in good nick, it can jump 5 times its own height. And at the last Olympics, the gold jumping medal went to a man with the highest jump who jumped 1.5 times his own height. So that's the comparison between them and us. Isn't that what you said? What did I find out about cats?
Yeah, that's the most surprising thing about cats.
And that they can sleep 14 hours a day.
I read that in the book. I thought, wow, 40, that'd be a great life, wouldn't it? 14 hours a day.
It's quite normal for cats. And also, another intriguing thing is that during their lifetime, they groom themselves assiduously, licking and combing and what have you. And in that process, they use and lose as much fluid as they do lose in urine.
Gosh. And I love that story in the book. I thought it was great about the reason why cats eat first and groom later.
Well, that's an old...
That was a great one.
That's not true, of course. I mean, what you said is true. They do eat. They don't wash their hands before they eat, as we do. They wash them after. And the story is, it's a myth.
Yeah, I like the story.
Is that once upon a time, a cat caught a sparrow and was about to eat it. And the sparrow said to the cat, "How rude. You should be washing your hands before you eat." And so the cat put the sparrow down and washed its hands. The sparrow immediately flew away. And from that moment on, cats have always eaten and then washed their hands out. That's a joke.
Yeah, it's a good way to remember it. But it is, in the end, it is the most popular household pet in the world, isn't it?
So it has been said, yes. And it has a peculiar position in the world because Shakespeare mentions cats 23 times. The Bible never. There was no cat at all mentioned in the Bible, which makes life very difficult for people. And there are some people who live their lives according to exactly what the Bible decrees, everything, you know, food, clothes. And those people can't have a cat as a pet because cats do not exist in the Bible.
True.
Yes.
There are some people so silly that because the cat wasn't mentioned in the Bible, they won't have a cat.
Well, you said silly. I was being more careful.
Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean,
well,
we must wonder about the human brain sometimes.
We wonder about it all the time.
But that cat, it rules people's lives. It's one of the few animals that, you know, we have horses and they carry things, and sheep are shorn, and dogs.
The cat does nothing.
It does nothing.
The cat does nothing. And the curious thing is that the cat is regarded generally as being a family pet or part of the family, like a dog is. But as you say, sheep give wool and meat, cows give milk and meat.
Dogs will fetch.
Dogs will fetch, horses will carry. The cat does nothing, but it sort of imposes its confidence on everybody, who therefore kind of admires it.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what the rank of the person is who is in the room, when the cat walks in, it's just cats regard humans as warm-blooded furniture. And it doesn't matter if it's a prime minister or a prince, it's still just warm-blooded furniture. Who feeds it?
Yeah.
And I found a lovely contrast between cats and dogs. Dogs believe these people feed me, they shelter me, they love me, they must be gods. The cat thinks these people feed me, they shelter me, they love me, I must be a god. And you know, you can see that.
That's great, isn't it?
Because as you know, dogs have masters, cats have staff. When you call the dog, he will come. When you call the cat, it'll take a message and get back to you later.
You obviously enjoyed doing the research on
I
this
did,
book.
yes,
Yeah.
I loved it.
And there's a cat for everyone, because there's over 100 breeds, isn't there?
Yes, but curiously, all of those 100 breeds are much the same size and shape. And what I said in the book was, if an alien came to Earth and saw a whole lineup of dogs, beginning with the Chihuahua and ending with a wolfhound, it would be hard to believe that they are all the same breed. But if you had 100 cats, they are all much the same size and shape, regardless of their breed, which is weird. And of course, there are also, besides the breeds, there are some what I call informal family trees, because a female cat can receive sperm from many, many males. When she is in heat, she doesn't have just one egg fertilized, she has several, and they can be all different fathers. It's called superfecundation. And when the kittens are born, they all have the same mother, but each one could have a different father. So they're only half siblings.
That's given the term tomcatting new meaning, hasn't it?
Well, you said it.
And talking about sayings about cats, there's some endlessly fascinating ones. Like a cat on a hot tin roof. We all, as baby boomers, we grew up with that one because it was a wonderful movie.
Yes, we grew up with it. But it's actually several hundred years old, and it didn't start out being a roof. Because in the days before stoves and electricity, there was always a flat stone near the fireplace. It was kept warm, hot. And on that, women would bake the bread and the muffins. And the cats knew that that was warm. And when there was no bread sitting there, the cat would sit in it to keep warm. If it got really hot, they'd jump off or they'd get nervous. Now, over years, this was in the days of thatching, in the days of real roofs and then corrugated iron, the expression moved onto the roof, so that the cat on the hot tin roof was like the cat sitting on the stone next to the stove. It was sort of jumpy and not comfortable.
Wow, that's great.
And it was made famous by Tennessee Williams in his play, The Cat on the Hot Tin Roof.
And another one we've always wondered about was how did it get its name? and we see models walking up and down it. It's called the catwalk.
Yes, well, curiously enough, that dates back to the days of airships, dirigibles, where there was a long platform that went the full length of the dirigible.
There would have been, wouldn't
it
there?
was called
Yeah.
the Cat's Walk.
The catwalk.
Yes, and over time that moved into show business and became a name for a parade which was put around the footlights where people paraded at the end of a show, and then it moved into the fashion industry around about 1950. It's hard to say when. And the similarity is quite obvious because in a catwalk where models walk, there is no rail. And a cat can easily walk along the top of a fence. And models, good models, can easily walk along a catwalk when most of us would be stumbling and reaching for something to hold on to. So that's how that began.
That's the catwalk.
In the air industry.
And what about, I mean, we've got, I went through the book, read it all, but there's just so many of them, isn't there? But what about letting a cat out of the bag? Where did that one start?
Well, that's one of the lies, I think. The story goes, you'll always be told if you seek an answer to this, that it goes back to the days when people shopped at a market, not a supermarket, a market, and the housewife would go to the market in the street to buy the goods for the house. And if she wanted meat for the family, she would buy what she was told was a pig inside a bag, a piglet. And she'd get it home and open, and the truth would emerge, because that's what it means. The cat was out of the bag. Now, I find that story unbelievable. I don't know any woman, no woman, I say it right now, is silly enough to mistake the meowing of a cat for the squealing of a piglet. That just isn't true. But that's what they say the expression comes from.
Can we have one more?
No?
One more. Now, we're testing your memory here now.
Oh, we are indeed.
You write a book like this, and of course you can't remember everything that you wrote about it, but one I would love to know, Curiosity Killed the Cat. Where did that one come from?
That's really tricky because that's linguistic. Many, many years ago it was care kills the cat, because in ye olden times care meant being curious, not necessarily careful. And it's just a statement of fact that curiosity, if a cat goes into a drain pipe and can't get out, which does happen, then the cat
can't walk backwards, or...
Well, it depends. If it's corrugated, if it's iron or something, there's nothing to grip onto.
Oh, okay.
And it simply means what it says, that curiosity can kill a cat. Another thing that is not generally known is that cats are often up trees, and you often wonder why the fire brigade has to come to get them down. Cats' claws are very good at going up, but not very good at going down.
Oh, I see.
They find it difficult to go down. So if the cat's curious and goes up the tree, and no one notices, it could die because it can't. It will find it very difficult to get down.
But look, well, there's a million here. But let's look at the fact that cats, for our baby boomers, you can imagine thousands of households throughout New Zealand, and there is the cat. And he just plays a major role in the house, doesn't he?
Well,
and they'd all love a book like this to read all about their cat.
Well, particularly people who live alone and have a cat. There's a sort of certain air about that which is kind of appealing, because a woman made a wonderful statement in a book. She said, to a person living alone, 9 lives plus 1 makes a perfect 10. And there's so many people.
And we haven't even mentioned the 9 lives part.
Oh, don't. That takes hours to explain.
But in the end, there's one great, I think, gift that a cat does give people. It purrs. It's a wonderful sound, isn't it?
And nobody can tell you how. The purring of a cat, which the other cat family can't do, the lions and tigers don't purr. But when a cat purrs, it is doing something with its body which no scientist can satisfactorily explain. And there are various levels of purring. There's the contented purr, there's the angry purr, and it's quite easy to tell the difference.
Oh.
But
You mean there's an angry purr?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yes, yes. And the same with the meowing. There's a sort of contented meow, and then there's a hungry meow and an angry meow. Oh, no, if you have a cat, you get too familiar with this, but I found it fascinating to lay it all down. But the purring is a mystery. No one quite knows exactly how they do it.
And after all that research, Max, you're still not tempted to go and purchase a little kitten?
No, I'm not, but I do support those who do, because I think like 9 lives plus 1 makes a perfect 10. And I remember not to be unkind. The dog people must not be unkind to the cat people, because it is said that Julius Caesar didn't like cats, and we know what happened to him.
Say no more. Max, can you be a generous man and allow us to give 3 of these wonderful books away to our viewers. Would that be possible?
Indeed, yes, by all means.
We need a simple question, so our viewers are going to email Gerard at The Beat Goes On, and we're going to have a qualifying question. So the question could be, I think this book is it's the ultimate catalogue.
Oh, that's very good, yes.
So why don't we, the question is, what is this book? It's the ultimate catalogue.
And that's the phrase they need to send you.
They need to send me that phrase. And,
Gerard's description is very good. I never thought of that.
And we'll pick 3 winners and we'll deliver the book to them. And
well done.
Yeah. Thank you, Max, for coming in from your busy nights. It's summertime. Have you enjoyed the summer, Max?
Very much, yes. I'm amused though when the temperature gets over the 20s and people complain, because I worked on the World Expo in Spain and the temperature got to 53 degrees.
Wow.
That's just quite normal in the south of Spain, but that is difficult.
53 degrees. Well, I hope it doesn't do that here. I know that they're talking about global warming, but I think it's a long way away yet for.
Well, I hope you're right.
Max Cryer, we're going to see you again when book number 15 hits the shelves.
I can't predict.
And you will never give us a clue about the next book, will you?
No.
Your lips are sealed.
They're sealed.
We're not allowed to use that phrase because somebody else uses that, but...
invented by the Prime Minister of Britain.
Was it?
Oh, yes.
My lips are sealed.
Yes.
Okay.
He actually said, I have not unsealed my lips. Not the current Prime Minister. It was a couple of Prime Ministers back, but that's where it comes from the Prime Minister of Britain.
Wow. Thank you, Max.